In this video, I want to talk to you a little bit about main storage. As you know, main storage is made up of RAM and ROM. And we already talked about those two types of storage. I want to specifically focus in this talk about the substances that make up RAM. So, in main memory, RAM, we know that our cells basically are made up of 8 bits, 8 wires. And each one of these places, each one of these cells can have an address. And because each cell has an address, you can actually address these cells independently of one another. And to reflect the ability to access these cells independently in any order, we have what we call random access memory. That means that we can access a specific cell within our memory block. Okay, we don't have to access the one before or the one after. We can access a very specific cell. Now, one of the things that's interesting about computers is that the CPU, it can work really, really fast. And most of the time, the CPU can work much faster than the associated memory or RAM that is in the machine. So we're always trying to figure out ways to kind of speed up RAM. Well, over time, we've begun to store bits as tiny electronic charges that dissipate very, very quickly. So that means that we require a refresh circuit needed to replenish the charges many times per second. And this is called dynamic RAM. The idea that electronic bits have charges that sort of go away very quickly, and that these charges require a refresh circuit to replenish the charges many, many times per second. That's what dynamic RAM is. Okay, it's called DRAM. Well, SDRAM is used to reference DRAM that applies additional techniques to decrease the time needed to access the contents from its memory cells. So SDRAM is actually an enhancement of DRAM. Okay, SDRAM, it's said to maybe because of some increased technology, SDRAM allows access to its contents maybe a little bit faster than DRAM. So what we have here is a product called SDRAM, and then over time we actually make improvements to SDRAM, and one of the first improvements was called DDR SDRAM, also known as DDR. And then we improved that to DDR2 SDRAM, also known as DDR2. And then that was improved to DDR3 SDRAM, which is today known as DDR3. And this is the component that's found in most of our computers today. We also now have the ability, or the technology has given us what we call DDR4 SDRAM, also known as DDR4. But most computers today have this particular product that makes up their main memory. If you ever hear the term SRAM, not SDRAM, but SRAM, this is a very, very fast, very costly type of memory. It's a special memory used for something called cache. And we'll talk about cache in another video. But for right now, just realize that SRAM is not SDRAM.